All right, on this one it says simplify the expression. So we have 3 plus 4i plus 7 minus 2i. Well, you just add the real parts and add the complex or the imaginary parts. So 3 plus 7 is 10. 4i plus negative 2i is 2i. And we're done there. This one, we have to square this quantity. So first thing I'm going to do is write it like this. 3 plus 5i times 3 plus 5i. All right, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 5i is 15i. 3 times 5i is 15i. And 5i times 5i is 25i squared. But I squared is negative 1. So I'm going to replace this I squared right here with a negative 1. Okay, 25 times negative 1 is a negative 25. When we combine like terms, 9 minus 25 is negative 16. And 15i plus 15i is 30i. And we're done. On this one, 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times negative I is negative 7i. 7 times positive I is positive 7i. I times negative I is negative I squared. But I squared is negative 1. So let's replace that. Also, negative 7i plus 7i, those are going to cancel out. So minus I squared. I squared is negative 1. So minus negative 1 is really a plus 1. So this whole thing ends up being 50. All right, let's look at this one over here. We have 3i times 2i squared. 2i squared is 4i squared. But I squared is negative 1. So this is really 3i times 4 times negative 1. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, so this ends up being a negative 12i. All right, now let's look at this one, I cubed. You can rewrite I cubed as I squared times another I. I squared is negative 1, and negative 1 times I is negative I. I to the 32nd power. You could write this as I squared. You could write this as I squared times I squared. So that's I to the 4th right now. 4 times something is 32. 4 times 8. Okay, let's write it like this. I squared times I squared is I to the 4th. And 4 to the, if we raise that all to the 8th power, we still have our I to the 32nd. But the reason I wrote it like that is because I squared is negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 1. That's the I squared and the I squared again to the 8th power. Negative 1 times negative 1 is just a 1. And 1 to the 8th power is just a 1. So really, anytime you have I to the 4th power, you have 1. So another way to write this is you could have wrote it as I to the 4th power to the 8th, which is 1 to the 8th power. So that equals 1.